spreading misinformation. This isn't even true. Did you know that? That's not even true. That's not even true. That's not an accurate that's not even an accurate photo of what an abortion looks like.
When it's in my stomach, when I'm raising, when it's relying on me for everything it needs, at that point, when it's still in here, it's a fetus.
A newborn baby.
It's a fetus.
Well, hang on.
If I ever were to have a child,
let us have a conversation.
If I want a child, I want to raise my baby. I want to be able to breastfeed.
You keep wanting to talk, but listen.
But you won't listen to me.
I did. I want to tell you what I think of what you just said. You're saying that because that baby relies on me, I can kill it. Well, what about a newborn baby that relies on you as well?
That's not what I said. I said when it's inside me, it's a fetus.
Well, do you know what the word fetus means? Do you know what the word fetus is?
Go ahead.
The word fetus is a Latin word. The word fetus means little one or little baby. Look it up.
That's right.
So when we use the word fetus or embryo or any of those medical terms, those terms were not meant to dehumanize the baby. Those words were meant to describe a stage of development. If I said I have a toddler at home, which I don't, but if I had a toddler at home, you would know immediately that I meant some little tiny kid. If I said I have a teenager at home, okay, but never use the word to dehumanize it. Don't say, well, I have a toddler, and it's a toddler, not a human being.
Okay, well,
and when you say fetus,
maybe what she's meaning is, okay, maybe if you don't like the word fetus because you're saying that it's part of a baby, what about the point that it's inside of you, so it's part of you, and you could do what you want to your own body. It's a part of you.
Okay.
So if I have nails, then it's a part of me, right? I can put them on.
That's a fair enough question. Here's how I would respond to that. Nowhere in your biology classes does it say that that baby is a part of your body, that it's like a fingernail. Nowhere in biology textbooks. In fact, your biology textbooks say it's a separate individual human being. That's what your biology textbook says. So if you believe it's nothing more than a part of my body, that's an incorrect belief. And if you base your belief on justifying an abortion on incorrect thinking, I have an obligation to say that to you.
Okay, but so if you're saying if it's not part of me, then why is it connected to me?
Literally.
The same reason the little baby breastfeeds after birth. Because it's getting nutrition. There's only 4 differences between you and I right now and when we're in the womb. Size, level of development, environment, and degree of dependency. Those 4 elements are the only difference between you and I right now and when you and I are in the womb. That doesn't make us less than human. And I could be wrong, but I get the impression what you're saying is because it's inside me, it's not human and not an individual. But that's biologically incorrect. It is a human being.
I didn't say that. She said that.
Well, I'm just saying.
I don't even think it's not a human. That's not what I'm saying. It's a life. And I agree that it's a life. And I'm against people who just have sex. Okay. I'm against people who just constantly just have sex and have abortions and they're being ignorant about it.
Sure.
I respect the fact, but regardless, still they have the right. They have the right. I'm not saying it's not a human. If I were to have a baby right now and I needed to get an abortion because I can't put myself through school full time, work full time. No, I know myself. I know my limits.
You seem pretty sharp. You're not giving yourself enough credit.
I know my limits, and I'm not mentally there to be able to raise a kid.
Some people aren't ready.
I hear that, but I don't believe you should include killing the baby.
That's not the only option. Killing the baby is not the only option.
Yes, there is abortion and stuff. There's abortion, or not abortion, adoption. But like, I don't want to raise my kid for 9 months. I'm going to get attacked.
Well, I get that, but you know, there's an organization. We actually quote them in our brochure. It's called the Guttmacher Institute. And the Guttmacher Institute, it was actually started as a statistical organization by the former president of Planned Parenthood, the national leader. And he decided to do all the facts and figures about abortion, everything you could ever ask about abortion. And you ought to go there. It's actually a really good, I thought it'd be, all pro-abortion, but it's actually very good. And he has all these statistics from abortion clinics about abortion in America. And you read all of those statistics, including what you just said. Why are people having abortions? He says in his statistics, the overwhelming majority of people who have abortions are doing it for one reason. And I thought, well, what's the reason? He says in the book, selfishness. It's just pure selfishness.
I
And he's a pro-abortion leader.
Yeah,
And
they
you
call
agree,
me a
yeah.
selfish bitch.
Not-
like
Go
sometimes
ahead.
it's okay to be selfish if you know that it's best for you. If you're not ready to bring a life into this world, that's a whole nother person depending on you.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I would want to see at this age is me getting pregnant and then not being able to support my kid because I didn't finish college, because I'm still working retail for the next 20 years.
No, I get that.
understand. That's why I'm saying I would love to have kids one day, and I don't plan on having abortion when I am ready.
Sure.
But if it were to happen right now where I messed up and forgot my birth control, or I had unprotected sex or whatever, I don't want to be held responsible for that for the next 18 plus years.
Yeah.
That's 18 years that they're reliable on you
And
by law.
I appreciate you admitting that. Now, he didn't use the word selfishness as a negative thing. He just said that's what the characteristic is. And you and I, got that. Well, here's the problem with that. We made it a law, or we overturned the laws of all 50 states that said it was wrong to kill a baby in the womb. In fact, California used to have in their constitution that an abortion kills an innocent baby. Planned Parenthood had it in their brochures before abortion became legal, and abortion killed an innocent human being. That was in their literature. But once abortion became legal, all bets were off. There was a lot of money to be made, and as a result of that, we said it's my right. Well, where did we get that right? The Supreme Court ruled it a right. Does that make it right? No, because well, that's right. The Supreme Court has made. Did you know the Supreme Court has made over 100 decisions of all the thousands that it made? Has made over 100 decisions in its history that later on were overruled. In other words, they gave people a right, and later on they took it away because it was wrong. One of them was the Dred Scott decision. They said it was legal to own a black person because they're not fully human. And that was stupid and wrong, but people bought into it. And do you know where the term pro-choice came from? It came from the South. The South said, hey, if you don't want to own a slave, don't own one. It's your choice. That's where the word pro-choice came from, and it was wrong. And in 1973, they did it again. They made a decision that you should have a right to exterminate your baby in your womb. And that was wrong. And it resulted in 62 million babies being killed, to the point of which people are aborting their children because they find out it's a little girl and they don't want another little girl.
And that's messed up.
That
I
is
can agree with you that it is messed up, but
Good.
at the end of the day,
It's just wrong.
There's a lot of circumstances in every right that we have. There's so many there's wrongs and there's rights. Yeah, we have the right to own guns, but does that make it right to somebody to go shoot up the school? Yeah, we have the right to abortion, but does that make it right to abort a kid just because, oh, I already have 3 little girls, I want a little boy.
Case, yes.
No,
And
that
we
doesn't
have-
make it
and we
right.
need
And
to have that
I
in
do
the
have a
dialogue.
question though, because you're saying that it's completely wrong for abortion. What can you say about
Say that first part.
you're saying that it's wrong to do abortions, correct?
Yeah, it's
Is that
wrong
what you're
to
saying?
kill
Okay.
innocent
So what my question is, what about the overpopulation for the future?
Yeah, we actually have a paragraph in here about overpopulation and a website to go to.
Can you
Let's-
tell me from it? Like,
Yeah, I'll give you a short answer. Well, I think it's a short answer. Let's just suppose, for the sake of discussion, there is overpopulation. Let's just say that's right. I would disagree, but let's just say that's right. Are we saying as a civil society
United States
it's
wants more
okay to
people,
kill
actually.
babies
United
to
States
solve
specifically.
overpopulation? I would say no. If we can
We are
kill little
actually one of the
babies for
lowest
overpopulation, let's kill people over 60. Let's kill people that are old and or ill or whatever. Do we really want to go there? So I would disagree that would be an argument to justify abortion, because we're proposing you kill babies to stop overpopulation. I just think that's wrong in every way. And so that's what my short answer would be. The brochure covers that.
Brochure.
But
Yeah.
it's just like, but then another
And listen,
thing,
you can write to us and say, Dawn, I disagree with this, I disagree with that. And you can email me
I
and
think
say
there's
I
a lot that
disagree.
we disagree on. There are some things that we do agree on. But,
Yes, I agree.
I feel like there's limitations to things. Like, I think that abortion should be legal, but
Yeah.
there's some people that have 5 abortions. Maybe we should put a limit
Oh
to
yeah,
it.
I talked to
and
someone.
that's-
Someone will
that's
come up and say
something-
that.
That's
That's a
something.
very good way to argue.
Yeah, there's people that do it
I
for
just
7
don't-
and 8.
yeah,
they use
There's
it as
always going to be
backup
rights
birth
and wrongs,
control.
and we just have to find a common ground. A good, a good compromise is when we both get screwed.
Yeah. Well, I think the best compromise is to first by agreeing that science and medicine says that's a living human being, and as a civil society, we shouldn't kill innocent human beings. Now, can we fix those other problems like, too many people or whatever we come up with? Yeah, let's try to fix those problems, or like we talked about foster care and all that. Let's try to fix those problems, and I am involved in that. But I never would add to the equation it's okay to kill the baby. I would say that's just wrong.
So you know how I talked about overpopulation? Okay, so future-wise, what about animals? Like, we're killing off most of our animals right now. A whole bunch of our animals are becoming extinct, right?
Cats?
So
Can we kill cats? Because I don't like cats.
I don't want to kill cats. I mean,
Okay, all right.
but like what I'm
My
saying
wife
is,
loves cats.
what I'm saying is we're becoming so overpopulated. The fact that we're also killing off the other species that lived on this planet.
And I agree with you in some respects that there are a lot of these kind of problems in the world, but why would we add to the solution, kill babies? I just don't agree, and I think you guys should not agree. You guys are tomorrow's leaders. You guys are going to be the ones becoming the president and senators and governors. Why would you sign off that it's okay to kill babies as part of the solution? I just don't see that. We bought into the idea that it's your right. That's wrong. It's not your right to kill your baby, even though the law says it is. They're wrong, as they've been wrong in hundreds of decisions.
And those cases have been turned over, right?
Yes,
Because they were wrong.
and
So
we're trying.
turned over?
Some of them take a long time. That's a good question, a good point. A lot of them take a long time. Somebody did a study once. They said the average injustice in the world, whatever it is in a society, sometimes takes 30 to 50 years to overturn. So that's why sometimes the Supreme Court doesn't overturn it, because they're embarrassed about what their earlier Supreme Court did. So yeah, it'll take a while, and it's been 42 years since abortion's been legal, but we are persuading people all the time to believe the truth that an abortion is an act of violence that kills a baby, and it should never have been legal. In fact, you want to hear something really crazy, really interesting? When abortion became legal, the guy who started NARAL, the National Abortion Rights Action League, he was thrilled that abortion became legal, because he became an abortionist and aborted 25,000 babies after that, before he stopped. Here's what he said when abortion became legal. He was thrilled that they ruled it. He said, "I could not plumb the ethical or medical reasoning that had produced the conclusions to make abortion legal. Our final victory, our victory of getting abortion legal, had been propped up on a misreading of obstetrics, gynecology, and embryology, and that's a dangerous way to win." He even said that the decision of Roe v. Wade was not based on reason and logic. They didn't have that. And yet he was thrilled, but he goes, boy, that was a dangerous way to win, because we won on faulty reasoning. And he eventually became pro-life. And you know when he became pro-life? The ultrasounds they were being created, and the ultrasound machines were now being popular. He actually performed an abortion and used the ultrasound to see if he could do a better job of aborting a baby. And when he looked in there and he saw the baby pull away, and he saw what he actually was doing in there, he goes, oh no, this ain't right. And Dr. Bernard Nathanson became a pro-life advocate, even though he started one of the biggest or most effective pro-choice organizations. Here's what a clerk said that worked for Blackmun when he got abortion legalized. He didn't work for him at the time, later on. He loved Blackmun. He thought he was just the greatest. Here's what he said about the decision to make abortion legal. As a matter of a constitutional interpretation and judicial method, Roe borders on the indefensible. Justice Blackmun's opinion provides essentially no reasoning in support of its holdings. And he was pro-choice. But he said there was no reasoning to make abortion legal. It was strictly a terrible thing. We have a page in here just on the abortion industry. This guy spoke before Congress and said, he was an abortionist for several years. I want the general public to know that the doctors know this is a person. This is a baby. This is not some type of blob of tissue. Here's another one. It says Camelia Paglia. I don't know if you know who she is. She's a famous author. She's on TV a lot. Pro-choice, real pusher of pro-choice. Here's what she said. Nature herself is a mass murderer. Hence, I have always frankly admitted that abortion is murder, the extermination of the powerless by the powerful. This is the pro-abortion people. The people who perform abortions are saying it's killing innocent human beings, but it's legal and we can do it. So when a person... Well, that's right. They're saying it's a choice to kill and murder your baby. And I'm saying that shouldn't be a choice.
Well, even if you say that they're human, are you willing to silence half of the world's population because of what someone thinks?
What do you mean by that?
You're willing to silence all females because of what someone thinks? Shouldn't it be the choice of what half of the world's population thinks?
Well, half of the population believes in abortion and half of the population does not. That includes men and women.
No, I'm just talking about women in general. You're willing to silence every single woman's right to a choice?
Well, what about a rapist or a child molester or a thief or any kind of thing that you and I agree is wrong? We're silencing those people and saying you don't have a right to molest children. And there are people going, who are you to tell me what to do with my children and what to do with my life? No, I'm not talking about that.